Can someone get me a spoon? Yeah, because he likes spoons and they don't make any noise. Oh yeah, that's good, there you go.
Sorry, you didn't mean to do it.
This is Noah, he's 8 months old. He's a giant. Yeah. What do you think, Noah?
Before I heard about the group, I had just moved to the area and I had no play groups or no friends or anything, so I was pretty desperate to find a little community of babies and friends.
When I was pregnant at the Mater Hospital, when they found out my age, they decided to refer me to the Young Mothers program. So I got a call a week later and they asked if I'd like to join. Spontaneous me decided yes and gave it a go, and I haven't left since.
Micah Projects is a not-for-profit based in South Brisbane. We're committed to social justice and to providing services for people who are homeless, people with domestic violence, early intervention services for young mothers, pregnant and parenting women in Brisbane and Caboolture, and we support many people who are in institutional care as children out of home care. We were constantly listening to women talk about domestic violence, but the women didn't ever disclose or come to workshops or anything about domestic violence. So we were really curious to know what were the links between gender and violence in the lives of young women who are pregnant and parenting. We ran a research project over a year, and from that research project, what we learned and what young women told us was their most reliable source of information was their peers. So they wanted us to set up a information and referral or a service that integrated peer support workers, and that's really where Young Mothers came from, and we still have peer support workers today.
Oh no. When I first started to come to Micah and participate in the playgroup, so I was 17 when I was pregnant. And then not long after I turned 18, I came to playgroups. And then, I participated in the playgroup for 9 months. I had the best time making wonderful connections and friendships and feeling really, really connected and a part of something that I didn't know existed. And then after that, I was offered a position as a peer worker. And I've been doing that for 7 years now, and it's the best experience that I've ever had.
That video is from 2016, which feels like yesterday and also feels like 6 years ago, which it was. I suppose the principles of the work and the way we celebrate young women who are pregnant and parenting is the same. Just wonderful to see the faces and be reminded of people that we've worked with over the years. Yeah, it makes, I suppose, I feel a real sense of pride. We are an organisation and a service that celebrates young pregnant and parenting families, and I think we have very much a kindness first approach and a strength-based response to the work that we do. Hey guys, the young families are arriving, come on out.
What time's playgroup start?
10 a.m. on the button.
On the way.
We do have to have a little sign that says, please don't come in before 10 because they would arrive at 9 o'clock.
Oh, I'm so excited to see you, Maddie.
Yeah, how are you?
So So I hold a caseload of families who have more complex needs, and I support them with things like housing, child safety referrals, domestic and family violence, financial strains, parenting obviously is one of the big ones. Pretty much any challenge that young people are facing in their parenting journey is something that we can sort of support them to address.
Hands in the air, rock by your bed, bear's now asleep. Shh, shh, shh. Bear's now asleep. Shh, shh, shh. Yay!
We work with women and children aged up to 5 years. And essentially we hope to bring everyone together to create a really lovely community, and within the Parents as Teachers program we really kind of approach it as a sharing of our collective expertise. So the women obviously are experts in their own children and have a lot of their own knowledge that they bring to the table.
I think that peer support workers are a really critical part of the YMYW team. On so many different levels. When you come into an environment where there's all these, like as a young parent, these older adults around you, and there's all these things going on and you don't know what to do or what's going on, and just having that friendly face that just pops up in the crowd that you can familiarise with and feel a sense of, oh, they're another young mum too.
Here is the sky, here are my friends, and here am I. Thank you.
I'm Shakira, that's Ashton.
He's cute.
Almost 18 months.
I'm Isabel, and my little person is Vanessa. She's wandering around somewhere. She is, what are you doing? Oh, what, 16 months? Lovely. It does.
My name is Lauren, this is Alfie. A lot of drinking, a lot of just being a 20-year-old. I wasn't 21 at that time. I was out most weekend with my friends. Yeah, bit of drugs actually involved too. So, and then I moved in with my partner during the pandemic, and we kind of were together for 6 months, fell pregnant, and it was kind of like immediate change. And I went with the MARTA program, and I was really scared. I didn't know anyone my age that was pregnant, and my midwife asked if I wanted to join the 4th trimester group. Really scared. I didn't know anyone, and she offered to go with me. It was really good. It was really good. I met Izzy, who's here today, and Kate, who's not here for the first time, and we found our journey together.
It's a place where I can come, and like right now I've got my kids out with someone else, and I know that they're completely fine and looked after, and I can talk to you, or I can talk to the other staff about anything I'm going through, and there's never judgment, and it's always very supportive, positive, trying to help me through whatever my problem might be. And if there's anything going on with the kids, someone else will straight away come and try and help, or things like that. So it's been really nice.
I think you've heard me talk about ages and stages before. It's a really great way for us to get a bit of a picture of how Lila's going and what her strengths are. And if there's any areas that we can give her some more practice in. It's a great way too if you've got questions that you can ask me about, and we can chat about anything you want more information about. So the first area talks about communication and the helicopter. You're already communicating with us, aren't you? If you gave Lila some directions like close the door or put the helicopter on the table, do you think she would know what you're asking and be able to do that?
Yeah, she definitely does.
Yeah.
If we ask her nicely in a receptive way, then she'll do it. But if we're yelling and screaming, it's not going to happen. But if we're nicer and show her, then it's she's good.
That's
she
so beautiful and reflective of you, because it's so true. So I will tick yes for that. And I've got a book here in case you haven't seen her do this before, but if you were reading with her or looking at a picture and you asked her to point at a picture of a ball or a cat or something, she'd be able to do that.
A lot,
Yeah. I've seen you reading with her so much before. Is that something you like to do at home?
Yeah, we do it before bed every night.
Yeah.
Loves it. You love your books, hey?
If you asked her to point at body parts, nose, ears, eyes, she knows those. Good job. That's your helicopter.
Leela, where's your head? Where's your head? Good
girl.
girl.
Good job. Been here for closer to 12 years now. And so I've watched it evolve, which has been really lovely. But having the parents as teachers framework within our group is really useful. It's really targeting the concerns that parents have and empowering them, I think, with added knowledge and access to resources that they can utilise to, parenting is so overwhelming for anyone, I think.
Just being a mum, I wasn't, I was at uni. I was raising a kid by myself. I was living by myself, so I didn't have a lot of support, no real family or friends. When I was in hospital, they gave me a flyer, and I was about 2 weeks postpartum when I was bored at home, and I'd shop for like 5 days, and I was like, I've got to do something different. And on the flyer, it said free food. So I rang up just to check that it was still on, and then I came, and that was almost 4 years ago. So it was, I was very isolated, so it was really nice to meet some people. Yeah, and I also felt like I had to be a mum and look like a mum and play the part of a mum, but I'm very, I guess, a bit eclectic, a bit out there, but I'm also a mum, so it was nice to find people that I could be myself around and be a mum and not have people judge me.
I noticed Matilda seems to be right into the homework thing. Does she do that a lot at home as well?
Do what? Homework?
Her homework game?
No, because she actually does get homework because she does Quest Academy, so she actually has a desk that she sits at and But her favourite thing is we got that IKEA kitchen, but we turned it so it is functional.
Oh my goodness.
Mom's empty. Oh, this looks delicious.
I was 19 when I fell pregnant with Ezekiel. I was working full-time. I had to quit my job because I just couldn't keep up mentally with the fact that I was pregnant and working full-time. We were quite young. We were married at 7 months pregnant, just jumped into everything pretty much. And then we had Ezekiel. I didn't know there were different types of support. I honestly had no idea. His father and I grew up from two very strong backgrounds where it was, you make your bed, you lay in it. We didn't know there were options to other resources and stuff. I don't regret what happened, but had I known, I probably would have been a lot more prepared for certain situations, but this group really has helped me through a lot with mental health, just being a parent with my kid, other things like that, pretty much.
How do you feel about playing the same game over and over and over?
Oh, it gets boring. She loves it, so.
Not on the chair, buddy. I just realised one my mum puts her to sleep at night time, because I basically do it her day, so she puts her to sleep at night time. But just as we go to bed, she wants to hide from my mum, so we're going to play hide and seek before it's bedtime.
There's still a lot of criticism and a lot of negative feedback that families that we're supporting receive. And we want to counteract that, and we want to be the organisation that says, no, this is a great thing you've done, it's a brave thing and it's a really important thing. And I think if you can put in just a little bit of support at the right time, in the right way, so that the young woman is always in charge of what's happening in her work with us, it's not put upon her, she determines the course of the work that we do together. If you can do that well, then you can really set up a family well for life.
About 6 years ago, the Caboolture Hospital had a look at some of their data, and they realised that a really large cohort, about 30% of young women under the age of 21, were birthing at the hospital with little to no antenatal care. And this automatically meant that there was involvement with child protection, there was concerns about safety and well-being of children.
watching. Oh, sorry.
Nixon, and I am Alicia, and my favourite thing that he does is his belly giggles, like his laughs, because it's so easy to make him laugh. All you have to do is peekaboo, or if you like, shoot him. If you like, every time you do that, he just thinks it's hilarious, and he giggles like from the bottom of his stomach. Yes, that's my favourite thing.
So they reached out and looked around at services that were already operating, and Young Mothers for Young Women had a really long track record. So they reached out to our organisation to see what we could come up with together. And through that, we knew that working with health and social supports was the way to bring support around families. So we thought, let's trial something. Let's bring it together, and luckily found funding. And that's how we were born.
It stops an embryo attaching to the wall of the uterus. So have a look. It's not used, it's not secondhand, it's fresh, I promise. So it sits inside the uterus here, and then hangs out the cervix. But they're really great. There are so many barriers for young women in accessing healthcare, and as a result of this program, which has been going for nearly 5 years now, we have had the most vulnerable women in our community have 99.5% attendance of antenatal care. So we've had pretty much minimal failed to attends, and great engagement, and that's through relationship building. So I actually am the luckiest midwife in Australia, and working with this team has been amazing.
We're doing the mashed up food over there, so that would be a mashed food would be for the baby who's been on solids for about a month. And they've moved from the pureed textures onto mash. And then Cheyenne is doing the next stage after that would be the finger food or the cut up food. So how you would prepare that for the baby that's moved on from the mash. So when we're talking about the muscles, when your baby's chewing, they're using about 240 muscles in their mouth. Remember I was talking about the speech? When they're sucking out of a pouch, they're using 24. So the pouches are great. They have their time and place. When you're out, when you're stuck somewhere, grab a pouch, that's cool. If you can, even just squirting on a spoon makes them open their mouth and use the more muscles.
So I fell pregnant at 19. And yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but definitely the best thing, and the group's definitely helped a lot with like the anxieties around and not knowing a lot about being a mum and what to do, especially being so young. I went for my regular checkups at the hospital, and they referred me to the Young Mums group, and I also had a few friends who had come through group previously and highly recommended it. I've been coming since I was about 23 weeks pregnant. Regular checkups with the midwife, and then just attending and getting used to group.
Hey, look at you! Come on in. Take a seat. Now I know he looks tiny to anyone else, but we know that he was very tiny when he was born, so he's actually massive.
Yes.
How many weeks is he today?
7 weeks and 4 days. 3 days.
Gosh. And how's the feeding going?
Good. He's like feeding a lot more than I think a normal baby his size would.
But he's probably having a growth spurt because he's so tiny.
Yeah.
You know. And have you been doing that lovely skin to skin with him as well?
Yes, he loves skin to skin.
Yeah. And you remember why? Because
the bonding.
Yeah, and it helps with your attachment, but it also helps him to regulate his body temperature, and it helps him to, he lays a scent so he knows where to go back to the breast.
Yeah.
And it also helps him to hear your heartbeat as well, which is what he heard when he was in utero.
Yeah. The education and being able to socialise, you don't feel so isolated and on your own. Yeah, so definitely get that bit of other people you can relate to, get out of the house and don't feel so alone all the time.
And are you enjoying him, most importantly?
I love it.
Are you proud of yourself?
I'm proud of
how far I've come.
I'm so glad you said that, because we look at you and we are in awe of what you've achieved. Like, it was a difficult pregnancy, because we knew he was really small.
Yeah.
What about your birth? Have you thought much about your birth?
Recently I've thought more about it.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Definitely very scary when I think back at it, but best thing that I'd definitely do it again.
Yeah, it was scary for you, because we knew that he wasn't growing as well, and through no fault of your own, that his placenta wasn't working as efficiently, and he was a really small baby. So
little miracle baby.
When you speak to women who've had minimal or no antenatal care or health care, when they explain why, it's often because they have a fear of hospitals, they have a fear of government agencies, and the answer is very simple. In fact, the women tell us the answer. The answer is that they need to trust and they need to build relationships. So once you build a relationship with the young woman and their family, the rest just falls in place. So when you're working in the hospital systems, it's very complex, it's very difficult to navigate, and they often get lost and fall through the cracks as well. So through this program, we're able to help build their trust within health services. He's perfect. Yay! You've done really well. So it's so keep coming back to group. We'll keep weighing him, and I'll do that referral for you, Marina.
Thank you.
And we'll get you sorted out so that you can enjoy him.
I think the term young mum can be quite derogatory, and it's rarely used in a positive context. It defines a young woman by one decision that she's made in her life. We pigeonhole young women who are pregnant and parenting into this young mum box, which I suppose doesn't provide them with any aspirations to identify as anything else. We don't want that to be their reality. We want them to think about what else, what next. What are the other things that I want to achieve in my life now that I've done this amazing job of bringing a beautiful young life into the world?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In Australia, a lot of funding has gone to our child protection systems and to looking at how to address risk in young families, and not as much has gone to early intervention where women can come without stigma, without fear of being notified to child protection authorities to talk about the reality of their life. So we've been constantly developing how we can be a resource to young pregnant and parenting women early in their family life.
I think sometimes in human services we wonder if what we're doing is doing anything, if we're having any impact at all. And I think we've been really lucky to see that we have. Like we've been here long enough and seen enough families grow to know that we think we're going to change the trajectory of families in years to come.
Today we have a sort of little ecosystem of where we've got a partnership with a mainstream hospital in both Caboolture and Brisbane. The antenatal care is done in the community. The midwife who's working for us in Caboolture does home visits.